YouTubers and video watchers, this is your Zero Pal Jimmy Wilson and Orlock425. The reason I'm making another talking discussion video, and the recent one that I just did, which was I think episode 17, then this episode, which is apparently is 18 now, and this episode is just an update to what's happening with copyright. If you are interested in listening to this, if not, you could just read the community of those two articles. But this one, I'm just going to be explaining more detail, not fully, just so you have a little update of what's been happening and why I still will be supporting those two links down below in this video, just like the previous episode. And the game I'm going to be playing, of course, is Battlefront 2 EA. And let's get started, I guess. So as this update, and the theme for this, of course, is the US Congress, because they're the one, someone, the Republican created this, and now it's into the Congress and they passed it, which was unfortunately sad for us. But now it's the time we continue making an update to ensure that everyone gets the right message, that we want to keep the safety of the YouTube and the Twitch platforms safe, including our private seats safe, so we have those three undetected. Because if one of those goes red, that's a sign that we're gonna have big trouble for the innocents. Trust me, I've seen it in my own eyes how a lot of people, innocents, can put more harm than good towards us. Now, those have been explaining why they think it's silly of why they can't do that. I totally agree with their partial part where I still believe that you cannot be streaming those type of content, TV shows or music, like illegally like that. But for arresting, that's where I disagree, that they should not lead to an arrest that gets way too out of control. And so what I'm here to talk about is basically the situation with after the events previous times that made it to become a law. So right now, if you seen the community, they just made an update where they're creating, preparing for the felony of the copyright material, and they're preparing the case through the claims board. In each of this, if you read it closely, I got the whole thing right here, so you can able to take a look. They're getting everything prepared and started to see which ones they can start attacking. Now, with the community's help, we can still protect the YouTube and stream, because that's what they want to attack the most. They want to attack those areas the most, since it's mostly vulnerable, and that's where most of the copyright starts, in those two areas. So that's what we're trying to protect as of right now. Now, those who can disagree with me, or those who can agree with me, I will still put those links in this video in the bottom, just so that way we're actually doing something about that. We cannot let this thing continue if it gets worse. Then we got another one right here, which was basically recently too as well. It states from the European side that if you read this closely, all this stuff that I'm showing is basically what they're gonna be doing for the next couple of months, preparing and negotiating with the copyright now as a law of the felony side, what it means for these guys as well if you're in the European side. And the whole thing about this situation, as I'm reviewing, is pretty shocking. It's like an update that's telling you what you're expected to see through this. And then as I'm looking through this, there is at least hope. Someone from this article states that now they seem to be targeting, and of course the whole felony of if you're streaming something you shouldn't be streaming. Someone of course in 40 years is gonna plan to at least help and protect protecting the lawful streaming act by helping us, the community, out to ensure that this doesn't get really worse. Because as I'm reading this really closely, they're gonna try to mess up a lot of stuff here and and at least we could tell from reading this article, and I'm showing that right now. All that they're trying to do is they're gonna try to prepare to make arrests and start shutting down people using contents that they shouldn't be doing. And my basic theory, now this is not true, that they're gonna start messing with the YouTube and Twitch platform. Now, if we've been signing in signatures, if we've been supporting these actions, we hopefully could put it not just to slow it down, but to a stop before it does more harm than good. And every American or people out there who are support of my act that I'm presenting here, this is really serious times. These are really like dangerous times as well. That's why I have to show every single bit of these details so that way everyone can explain here. Please put in the comments if you find something interesting so I can hear it and probably reply to it if it got your attention. But these updates are necessary in order to help get what's in touch before more like the events of harming innocents start happening. In other words, they're gonna try to control right now the situation and try to find whoever's, doing these, good side or bad side depending on the situation. What we have to do as a community is right now keep sharing, the links that I sent in the description. Keep letting people know, and as I make updates and, for the community side, because I won't be making so much videos of this, those of you who are watching that are just listening to this video are just a way to hear me out and understand that right now times like these could come out from good side to bad side, and if we're not careful, it can actually happen to one innocent person who's been using these platforms for a long time. So in other words, we have to watch out on our backs and be careful out there. As they have another link that's reviewing issues with the copyright law, all this material that I sent from that review, because I got it directly to the website, states every detail of the streams, including other companies and the ones that usually have issues and problems. But rather than that, right now we're not under attack as of now, we're not under attack. But who knows what's gonna happen if they start, but we still gotta stop I'm still gonna put the hashtag, we gotta stop from having these people do more harm to innocents and doing more harm to the web, including our own videos that we create as creators, whether you're a streamer, YouTuber, or someone who just wants to put out music out there, enjoy, some, just for the fun of it, if they already have jobs or something. Because right now they want to prepare for an attack, and we don't know where they're gonna start attacking, as the looks of it. And that's why I'm here to make the announcement to come prepared, have everything ready, just in case something goes wrong, something starts happening. They're already having everything reviewed. So as a community, we have to watch our backs, keep an eye on these months and these days, and to ensure that we are here as a one community to say no to these people and to stand our ground as much as possible, and to provide support to that one person who's trying to protect, our rights as, individuals who are just there to make videos, to stream content for just us, to have more entertainment in the entertainment industry, to put this arresting part to a stop. Because even though you may disagree or agree with the whole streaming thing of, streaming this content or not, one section I'm still against is the arresting part, and I'm always going to be against that, saying they might have gone too far with this and it's going to just bring chaos. I've seen it in my own eyes. If you haven't pictured this, one day you're playing a game you're using, let's say, a copyright music for this game, or let's say you're just picking a little tiny scene from a movie or TV show and you start putting it on one of these platforms, rather if it's using copyright material or not. So what happens is, you immediately, if it's YouTube, you get a copyright strike or a block, whatever it may be, depending on the situation of that. Or if it's on Twitch, you just get muted or completely like unhearable, because that's what Twitch does, it mutes your video. So what happens is, you're like, okay, I probably will stop it, or I just let this continue, depending on your situation. For me, what I do, I usually just stop it and end it, since it doesn't no longer work. That's what basically happens in the past when I was playing Christmas music. They just stopped it, saying it already reached its limit, because they have like a limit. Instead, now where I'm looking at the bigger picture here, I end up getting a knock at your door. And let's say anyone gets a knock at a door, and as using me as an example, I open the door and I find that there's 2 police people out there calling from the department that this house or this place used a copyright they weren't supposed to, and unfortunately led to your arrest, saying they're gonna arrest you. Now that's something that you're completely shocked, saying what, and completely violating, your fair right use. And not only that, but completely doing an unlawful, how you say this, an all-awful act to try to get you arrested. And immediately you go to jail, and I'm pissed off, saying what the hell's going on, and you're being charged for doing something and keeping you in, let's say, maybe in prison or in jail time, which puts it really out of shocking, where you have to go to court and figure out what the hell has just happened. And seen from judge's perspective, they'll be shocked, saying why they make this into a law and putting more, because this is not just going to be one case. What if it's like hundreds and hundreds of cases? The judge will not be pleased. And you see, here's the problem that I'm having here. What if it was kids doing that, and the judge is seeing hundreds kids, putting putting them to the jails because they use that kind of a unlawful system because of the fact that it was copyright? That is unacceptable right there. And this is why, we make these signatures. This is why we have the community supporting for a reason. Because something like this could happen not just to adults, but kids as well. All over an all-awful law that just wants us to restrict this copyright from anybody just ruining it to public, rather than just focus on the main problem and not even having a more awful attempt to do it. Because not only does it scare away the we call entertainment industry, but it also scares the streamers. And overright, yes, we'll have to all go to strike for an all-awful law, because we don't want something like this to get worse. But your help and everyone else's help can continue sharing not just my video, but the links that I sent to prevent something tragic or sad from attempting to harm not just adults but children and teens as well. And that's why I'm making this video as an update to remind everybody we have to continue supporting this movement, not just for our streaming platforms, the popular ones, but also for the privacy, that not allowing them to invade to see what we go on every day and give us an overview from our whatever providers we have, right? Spectrum, Frontier, other company, if you can name them, including our mobile phones as well, Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, things like that sort of situation, that we continue keeping our privacy from not being invaded by other people, including supporting the signatures to prevent our platforms from getting invaded. So that's why, you know, a video is important, and that's why I'm actually creating this to speak out to you in the community as well. And yes, it is kind of, and you know, anyone can say in the comments why I'm actually, you know, presenting this and actually talking about this. Again, I do appreciate, I will reply once you make those comments, but I'm presenting updates to make sure that everyone is in the right page, and we continue making the word out in our own voices that these guys cannot win and take advantage over our freedom of the web. That we have to continue making our voices clear that this is unacceptable, and we will not allow this felony to lead to innocent arrest. So that's why I'm making this, so they can get the Congress to a right path to deal with the problem more than make it into a felony of creating chaos and harm to the good of the people, more than looking at the basic situation that, you know, I would usually do. So that's why I'm making this, my voice cleared out for this video, so we can get the attention heard for the community. That we do support illegal streaming, that's still unacceptable, but we do not support felony of innocent arrest. That's what I'm trying to say in this video, that I will not support that. That there is other ways to do this, but not like that. Not for arresting, charging for immediately extreme bad attempts to try to milk people or arrest them. That instead there a different path, than more simply, which is just cutting them off, is mostly the best opinion that we got, because it works really well. Cutting them off, it works perfectly, and you have no issues, no problems. But that's why I'm making this, so that way we get our voices and attention heard. Now hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. Hope you guys been hearing me out through my own voice talking about this. I know I wasn't explaining so much, so I just showed the article so you can take a look and pause this video so you can able to see what I'm actually reviewing here. But these are updates that I'm just giving to the community, so we get a better picture of what yet to come. You can say stuff in the comments that, you know, you may disagree or agree with, but as these updates will come by through the community as I post them, we hopefully will see a brighter light to this copyright felony issue and try to overrun, not the government, but overrun this problem that doesn't lead to more harm for the innocent people. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this episode. Hope you guys like this. Please subscribe to my channel, and as always, keep it real, Jimmys. And they're over there at the Orlock 425 community. That's about it. Signing off. Bye bye.